Good evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. COVID-19 numbers in Maryland are up again. The state reports 1,169 new cases today. The state is also reporting 5 new deaths. Meantime, the governor's expanded face covering order takes effect tonight. Persons over 5 years of age must wear face coverings in all public spaces.
We need to stick together. We need to honor each other by wearing masks, by keeping our distance, by choosing to curtail in-person activities, and by making smart decisions. We can put ourselves in control of this virus. What we choose to do today will save lives and will keep Maryland strong.
And that was Fran Phillips, Maryland's Deputy Health Secretary, one of the leaders of the state's COVID response team. Phillips has announced her retirement. When college students head back to campus next month, there will be some big changes on the horizon. The University System of Maryland has mandated that all students and employees get tested for the coronavirus. Anyone returning in person to a USM institution must be tested for COVID-19 within 14 days prior to their arrival and must provide university officials confirmation of a negative test result. Senator Jim Rosapep says it's a start, but more needs to be done.
We've been working for weeks to convince the university system to do mandatory testing of professors, of staff, and of students. And so the fact they've decided to do it, and they're going to do it system-wide, it's good for College Park, but it's good for all the college communities in the state. But that's not all you have to do, and everybody understands that. Once you do the testing, you then have to do the tracing of people who've been infected and who they've been in touch with to try to stop the spread. And then those who you find have been exposed need to quarantine themselves. So one of the things we need to do in Prince George's is we need an agreement between the county government and the university, so the university can do most of that tracing themselves.
And for the latest updates from the University System of Maryland, you can go to usmd.edu and then search for COVID-19 testing. Baltimore County's health director tests positive for the coronavirus. Dr. Gregory Branch says he's not sure how he contracted the virus. Now recuperating at home, Branch says his case is a reminder that everyone is susceptible to COVID-19. Baltimore County, like Prince George's and Montgomery, has been hit hard by the virus. Are you among the thousands of COVID-19 survivors? If so, the American Red Cross needs your help to possibly save patients who currently have the disease. Keisha Butts reports all you have to do is donate your plasma.
The American Red Cross is seeking convalescent plasma donations from fully recovered COVID-19 patients. It says the plasma could provide life-saving treatments for sick patients.
It's important to understand first what convalescent plasma really is. This is plasma collected from patients who have recovered from an infection and that have antibodies that might help fight an infection in other patients. So in this case, we're looking at those who have fully recovered from COVID-19. Each donation from a COVID-19 survivor has the unique ability to help up to 3 patients recover from this virus.
The Red Cross says it has a shortage of convalescent plasma. So far, it's collected 1,400 units in Maryland. For more details, visit redcrossblood.org. This is Keisha Butts with CTV News.
The American Red Cross says it's also experiencing a shortage of regular blood donations. With the November elections approaching, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks is calling on the governor to conduct the 2020 elections with a hybrid vote-by-mail system. Alsobrooks and others are urging Hogan to mail ballots to every registered voter rather than forcing them to request an absentee ballot application. Alsobrooks says many places that served as polling locations, such as churches and senior centers, have withdrawn due to the pandemic. As for polling volunteers, a survey indicated that about 2/3 of volunteers did not express a willingness to work the polls.
They're not coming back to volunteer in the middle of a pandemic. And for these reasons, I continue to believe that it is not feasible, nor is it safe for us to open 245 polling locations across the county, and that we should instead focus primarily on mail-in ballots as we did for the primary election.
Also, Brooks is asking for permission to expand to 15 early voting sites and use only those locations on Election Day. Maryland Senator Andrew Serafini is calling it quits. A Republican from Western Maryland, Serafini has spent 12 years in the General Assembly. He says the long hours and stress of the job have taken a toll. His resignation is effective tomorrow. Police need your help identifying a person of interest in a fatal shooting in Landover. Detectives believe the person in this photo has important information regarding the death of Ronald Henderson Jr. Officers were called to the 2400 block of Kent Village Place back on July 18th for a report of a shooting. When they arrived, they found Henderson suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead on the scene. A $25,000 reward is being offered in the case. Prince George's police are investigating a fatal crash that occurred last night in Clinton that killed 23-year-old Tyra Dalton of Upper Marlboro. Officers say two vehicles collided head-on about 9 p.m. in the 7300 block of Old Alexandria Ferry Road. The SUV, which was heading southbound, crossed into the northbound lanes and struck Dalton's car head-on. She was pronounced dead a short time later at a hospital. The driver of the SUV suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact police. Well, some recipients of unemployment in Maryland say their benefits are not always easy to access from their state-issued debit cards. Several people tell CTV News that getting their cash out of Area Bank of America's has been difficult and that many branches are often running out of cash in both Prince George's and Montgomery counties. I took a look at that issue earlier this month. To get unemployment, claimants must first get a debit card, and then their benefits are uploaded to their card. Now, to withdraw funds to pay for their bills, they actually have to go to a Bank of America to withdraw the funds and then deposit it into their own bank account because the state does not allow direct deposit.
They were temporarily suspending any cash withdrawals from the ATM outside.
Many claimants for unemployment have endured some tough times, first losing or getting laid off during the pandemic, and then struggling to get benefits through the state's problematic system. Now some claim that they can't withdraw cash from the debit card at area banks.
There was a temporary hold on the drive-thrus, and it was about a month. They wouldn't let you take anything out via the drive-in, but you could go inside and take it out.
Recipients can go to other banks to access the cash on their debit cards, but they must pay fees if they use an ATM other than Bank of America. CTV requested comments from the Legislative Oversight Committees for Unemployment, but we have not heard back. While gasoline prices remain relatively low across the region in one local city, they're about to go up. Byron Scott tells us why.
I'm Byron Scott. The highest average gas prices in the region are about to get even higher thanks to a new 10 cents a gallon surcharge imposed by the D.C. City Council. The new surcharge is expected to raise an additional $5.6 million in fuel tax revenue by 2021. John Townsend of AAA Mid-Atlantic is not only critical of the tax, but the process by which it was passed and what it means for the future.
The public wasn't even a part of the process. They were not consulted. There was no forum or mechanism for their voices to be heard or to voice their concerns about this. They did it in a way that was cavalier, and they did it in a way that shut down public input. It defies the motto of the city, which is no taxation without representation, and yet they turn around and impose this tax on consumers. It is hypocritical, it is antithetical to the theme and the motto that's emblazoned on every automobile plate in the District of Columbia. And then in 2022, it is adjusted to inflation. So that means that this tax that they impose in a form where motorists couldn't have any input will become permanent and will be adjusted to inflation.
The increase goes into effect in October. I'm Byron Scott.
Fill out your 2020 census form. It's an ongoing message from county officials. Census takers will soon start knocking on your door if you have not completed the form. This Saturday, August 1st, the county will host a census pop-up event at the Langley Park Community Center from 12 until 3 p.m. The awareness event aims to get as many people as possible to complete the census questionnaire. Federal aid to states and counties is determined by census figures. Need assistance getting back into the workforce? A local organization can help you brush up on your skills. The Training Source is set to host a virtual office and professional services job training program. During the 6-week training, participants can enhance their computer and professional skills. The next information session about the program is scheduled for August 5th at 1 p.m. To register, visit thetrainingsource.org. Well, if you're a baseball fan and love the Washington Nationals, the team has you smiling tonight.
1 on, 1 out, and Taylor gets a big piece of that one. Deep left center. See you later. Michael A. Taylor, 0 for 12 career against Ryu prior to that swing.
Taylor with his second home run of the year. Both of his hits here in 2020 have left the yard, and the Nationals lead this one 4-1.
The Nats, of course, defeated the Toronto Blue Jays last night thanks to Michael Taylor and friends. Final score, the Nationals 6, Blue Jays 4. The hometown team is now 3-4 on the season. And that wraps up our newscast for the evening. Thanks for watching. Join us again on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Have a great night.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
Here are your AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. First, form a caregiving team. Create a list of people in your family and friend network who can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of supplies in your loved one's home. Try to have a 2-week supply of essential items. Make a list of the care recipient's medications and medical contacts. Be sure to have prescriptions on hand and ask the pharmacist for an extra 30-day supply. Make a plan to stay connected. To prevent social isolation, set up available technology to help loved ones stay connected and schedule regular chats. Finally, maintain your own self-care. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. And have a backup plan for care in case you become ill. For more caregiving tips during the coronavirus pandemic, go to aarp.org/caregiving.